Ever get the feeling that sending out job applications is kind of like tossing a message in a bottle out to sea? You pour your heart into that resume, you write the perfect cover letter, you hit send, and then crickets. It's enough to make you wonder if anyone's even looking at those things.
Oh, I hear you. It can definitely feel that way. But here's the thing. Often, something is looking at your application before a human ever even sees it. And that's something. It's AI.
Okay, hold on. AI. Like robots are reading my resume. This is starting to sound a little too Black Mirror for me.
Haha, I get it. But honestly, this is the reality now. AI is changing the game big time when it comes to how companies find and evaluate job candidates. And the thing is, most people have no idea it's even happening, let alone how it all works.
So, like, what's the deal here? Break it down for us. What's going on behind the scenes that we need to know about?
Well, picture this. A company posts a single job opening, right? And they get, what, hundreds, maybe even thousands of applications? There's no way a human being can read through every single one of those, right?
Yeah, no way. So that's where the robots come in, I'm guessing.
You got it. Companies are using these things called applicant tracking systems, ATS for short. Basically, they're like AI-powered gatekeepers. They scan all those resumes, looking for specific keywords, experience levels, you name it, anything that matches what the company's looking for in that particular role.
So instead of a human being, it's an algorithm making that first cut.
Huh. So, are we all just supposed to become coding wizards now to even stand a chance?
Well, that's where a platform like RoleCatcher comes in. See, instead of leaving you in the dark, totally clueless about what these AI systems are looking for, RoleCatcher actually gives you a peek behind the curtain. Wait, really? Like they show you how the AI sees your resume.
You got it.
Yeah.
You upload your resume to RoleCatcher, and their AI goes to work. It analyzes it just like an ATS would, comparing it to actual job descriptions and everything. And then it gives you a skill score, showing you how well your resume lines up with what that specific job, and more importantly, the AI screening it, is looking for.
Whoa. Hold up. So I can actually see a score. No more guessing games, no more wondering if my resume is good enough or what. That's kind of wild.
It's a game changer, for sure. It's all about leveling the playing field,
Yeah.
giving you the insights you need to present yourself effectively in this brave new world of AI recruitment.
Okay. So it sounds like we can't just be blasting out the same generic resume to a million different jobs anymore.
Yeah, those days are long gone, my friend. Tailoring your resume. It's not just a suggestion anymore, it's a necessity. Every single job you apply for, you got to think of it like a whole new puzzle. You got to make sure your skills and experience fit exactly what that AI and ultimately that hiring manager is looking for.
Okay. Makes sense. But man, that sounds like a lot of work. How am I supposed to completely customize my resume for every single job I apply for?
Well, that's where RoleCatcher really shines. They've got this really cool built-in resume builder. Basically, you can take your existing resume and tweak it for different jobs super easily.
So it's like having a little resume assistant in my back pocket. I can dig it. What else can this thing do?
Well, it can do a lot, but I think the main thing is it's not about trying to trick the system. It's about understanding how the game is played now. RoleCatcher helps you do that so you can put your best foot forward.
This is all great for getting past those robot overlords and getting your resume seen. But then what? What happens after that?
Well, even the most amazing resume in the world can only take you so far, right? Eventually, you've got to face the music. You've got to do the interview. And guess what? AI is changing that game too.
Oh boy, here we go again. I'm already sweating just thinking about it.
Don't worry, it's not as scary as it sounds. While more and more companies are using AI to analyze how people do in interviews, it's not about replacing human judgment entirely, at least not yet. It's more about giving those hiring managers some extra data points, some objective insights.
Okay, so like, how does that even work? Is there a robot judging my every word and twitch in these interviews now?
Well, you're not wrong. Lots of companies are using these AI-powered tools that record and analyze interviews. They're looking at things like what keywords you use, how positive or negative your tone of voice is, even your body language.
Wow. Okay, so they're analyzing pretty much everything. That's both kind of cool and kind of terrifying, don't you think? But I guess it makes sense in a way.
Right. Think about it, we humans. We're biased, right? We have good days and bad days, and sometimes we make decisions based on things we don't even realize are influencing us. But AI, it just looks at the data, pure and simple. It tries to find patterns that match up with what's worked well for other candidates in the past.
So it's like taking some of the human error, or at least the human subjectivity, out of the process. Which could be a good thing or a bad thing, I suppose, depending on how you look at it. But I see what you're saying. If the goal is to find the best person for the job, maybe a little bit of objectivity isn't such a bad thing after all.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, RoleCatcher's got your back here too. They actually have tools that can help you get ready for these AI-powered interviews.
Oh, really? Now that's interesting. Tell me more about this.
Well, for starters, they've got this huge database of interview questions, and they're all organized by career path, so it's super easy to find ones that are relevant to you.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty standard. I've seen those on other websites before. What makes RoleCatcher different?
But here's the kicker. They've got this AI feedback system built in. It's called RoleCatcher Copilot AI. And it's amazing.
Mhm.
You can actually record yourself answering practice questions, and the AI will analyze your performance and give you feedback.
Wait, are you serious? I can practice my answers and this thing will tell me how I'm doing.
Yep. It'll look at everything, how clear and concise your answers are, whether you're using too much industry jargon, even your tone of voice. It's like having your own personal interview coach.
Whoa, that is awesome. No more awkward mock interviews with your friends who are too afraid to hurt your feelings to give you real feedback, right? Now I can get the honest truth from a robot.
Exactly. And you know what's really cool? People who use this feature, they're always blown away by how specific the feedback is. Like, a lot of us will use too much jargon without even realizing it, right? It makes the sound stiff and formal. But the AI, it picks up on that instantly.
Yeah, totally. I am so guilty of that. I'm always trying to sound super smart and in the know, but sometimes I think it just makes me sound, well, like a robot.
Right. And the AI can catch those subtle things that we as humans might not even notice. It's all about helping you put your best foot forward, to the AI and to the actual hiring manager.
This is all fascinating stuff, but before we get too carried away with all the bells and whistles, let's take a step back for a sec. What does all this actually mean for the folks listening at home? Why should they even care about AI and all this stuff when it comes to their job search?
Here's the bottom line. AI isn't some futuristic fantasy anymore. It's here, it's real, and it's already changing the job market. And for people who are willing to learn about it and embrace it, it can be a huge advantage.
I love that. Instead of being afraid of the robot uprising, we need to figure out how to work with the robots, right?
Exactly. And that's what RoleCatcher's all about, empowering job seekers to navigate this new world of AI-driven hiring with confidence and hopefully even a little bit of excitement.
It's all about understanding how the game is played now and using that knowledge to your advantage. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll dive into some of the other amazing things RoleCatcher can do. Like, did you know it can actually help you figure out what kind of career you should even be pursuing in the first place? And that's not all. Stay tuned. And we're back. So before the break, we were geeking out over all the ways RoleCatcher can help you navigate those AI-powered job applications and interviews. But it's like you said, it's not just about landing the next gig, right? It's bigger than that.
Totally. RoleCatcher's really trying to help you figure out where you want to go in your career for the long haul, not just the next pit stop.
Okay, I love that. So it's like, what, a GPS for your career? Helping you find the destination that really fits you, not just any old job?
You nailed it. That's exactly where their Career Compass feature comes in.
Okay, color me intrigued. Career Compass. How's that work?
It's actually way simpler than you'd think. You just feed it some info, like your skills, your experience, education, all that, and what you're into. And then RoleCatcher's AI goes to town.
So it's crunching all that data and trying to figure out what I should do with my life. No pressure or anything.
Pretty much. But get this, it's not just spitting out random job titles based on like one keyword you used. It actually digs deeper.
Okay, so it's not just some surface level matching thing.
Nope. It's looking at your preferred work style, what's trending in different industries,
Yeah.
even things like projected salary ranges for different paths.
Whoa. So I can see what different careers might look like down the road, both in terms of like how happy I'd be and how much money I could make. It's huge.
Right. It's about making smart choices about your future. The coolest thing I've seen is how often this thing surprises people. They discover career paths they'd never even considered before, but they fit their skills and what they're into perfectly.
That's the whole point of AI, right? Making connections our human brains just aren't wired to make on their own. This is like having your own personal career counselor who's like read every book and analyzed all the data.
And here's the best part, it's always learning. The more you use RoleCatcher, the more info you put in your profile, the smarter those recommendations get. It's wild.
It's like a career coach that lives in your computer, always there to give you a pep talk or point you in the right direction. I like it. Okay, but switching gears for a sec, you mentioned earlier that sometimes it's not just about us finding the right job. It's about the job finding us.
Bingo! Remember we were talking about companies using AI to hunt for candidates? It works both ways.
Yeah. Like they're on a safari trying to track down the perfect hire.
Exactly. Well, RoleCatcher lets you make sure you're the one they spot first.
Okay, I am so down for that. Tell me more. How do I make myself irresistible to these AI headhunters?
All right, so when you make your profile on RoleCatcher, you have a choice. You can make it visible to employers. That means instead of just hoping your resume ends up on the right person's desk, you're basically putting yourself out there saying, hey, I've got skills, come and get them.
Wait, so you're telling me companies are actually using RoleCatcher to search for people directly?
Oh, big time. A lot of them actually prefer it because it's so much more efficient. They can filter by super specific stuff, skills, experience level, what industry you're in, even your location. They can find exactly what they need in like 5 seconds.
This is like online dating, but for your career.
Right.
Put on your best outfit,
Mhm.
metaphorically speaking. You highlight your best qualities, and then you just see what happens.
That is a fantastic way to put it. It's all about realizing you're not powerless in this process. You don't have to just sit around and wait for someone to notice you. You can make things happen for yourself.
Well, it's like that whole be the change you want to see in the world thing, but for your job hunt.
I love it. This has got to be so empowering, especially for folks who are tired of feeling like they're shouting into the void with those online applications. And it's not just about casting a wider net, it's about quality over quantity. By putting yourself out there on RoleCatcher, you're way more likely to connect with companies that are actually looking for what you've got to offer. It's like a win-win.
Totally. Companies get a pool of awesome candidates who are already interested and qualified, and job seekers get to skip that whole black hole of doom that is the traditional application process. It's making the whole thing way more efficient and, dare I say it, even a little bit fun.
Right. And the best part is, it takes some of the pressure off that one perfect resume or cover letter. With RoleCatcher, you're building something that's always evolving, just like your career.
It's like having your own personal billboard on the career superhighway. Love it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say a company does reach out through RoleCatcher. Now what? How do I really wow them and stand out from the crowd?
Now that is the million-dollar question. Having an awesome RoleCatcher profile. That's step one. But it's just the beginning of the journey.
Ooh, I'm getting the sense there's even more juicy advice where that came from.
You know it. And luckily, we've got just enough time to dive into all that good stuff when we come back.
And we're back for the final stretch. We've covered a ton of ground today, haven't we? All about AI and the future of job hunting, how it's changing the game for all of us.
It's definitely a whole new world out there, that's for sure. But the good news is, it's not all doom and gloom, right? Like we've been saying, tools like RoleCatcher are showing us that we can use this stuff to our advantage, not just be afraid of it.
Totally. And you know what's really exciting to me? It's like, in a weird way, this whole AI thing actually puts more power in the hands of us job seekers. We're not just sitting around waiting for someone to pick us anymore. We can be proactive. We can put ourselves out there. We can, like, hack the system in a good way, of course.
Love that. You hit the nail on the head. It's about taking control of your own career story. And one of the biggest things you can do in this brave new world of AI-powered hiring is to really focus on the things that make you human.
Because, let's be real, no matter how fancy those algorithms get, companies aren't hiring robots to fill their teams. They still need real people, right?
Exactly. And honestly, that's something that often gets lost in all the hype around AI. People start thinking they have to turn themselves into robots to succeed.
Right.
But that's the opposite of what you want to do.
Okay, so how do we walk that line then? How do we take advantage of all the cool, efficient stuff AI has to offer without losing that human touch, that spark that makes us, well, us?
Authenticity. That's the key word here. And actually, RoleCatcher talks about this a lot, how important it is to humanize your application. It's not just about keywords and bullet points. It's about telling your story in a way that resonates with both the algorithm and the actual person who's going to read your stuff eventually.
Okay, so let's break that down. Let's say a company reaches out to me through RoleCatcher, right? Something on my profile caught their eye. We passed the initial robot test. Now what? How do I really make that connection and show them I'm the real deal?
Think of it like this. They're intrigued. They see potential, but they don't know you. So you've got to tell your story in a way that pulls them in.
So, like, storytelling. Got it. But be more specific. What does that actually look like in, like, an email or a phone call with a recruiter?
Okay, so let's say you're a software developer, right? Your resume says you're a whiz with, I don't know, Python, whatever. That's great. But it's just like data points. What that hiring manager really wants to know is, How have you actually used those skills to solve problems and get things done in the real world?
Okay, so instead of saying, I'm proficient in Python, I should say something like, I use Python to single-handedly save my last company $1 billion and also cure the common cold.
Well, maybe tone it down just a tad, but you're getting the idea. Don't just list the skill. Tell them the story behind the skill. What was the challenge? What did you do? What were the results? And most importantly, what did you learn?
So it's about connecting the dots between what I know and the value I can bring to their team.
Got it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Don't be afraid to let your personality come through too. Let
Right.
them see your passion. Share a quick story that shows them how you think, how you work.
Be a human, not a robot. Check.
See? You've got this. Because at the end of the day, even in the age of AI, companies are still made up of people. And people want to work with people they like, people they connect with, people who are real.
Ooh, I love that. So much good stuff to think about. Okay, as we wrap things up here, if you could leave our listeners with just one thought to chew on, what would it be?
Embrace the change, but don't lose sight of what makes you, you. The job hunt. Yeah, it's changing fast. But the things that make you successful, hard work, preparation, a willingness to learn new things, being genuinely you, those never go out of style.
So well said. It's about using these new tools to help you shine brighter, to tell your story in a way that connects, and to find a career that you're truly passionate about. Huge thanks to RoleCatcher for giving us so much to think about today. And to you, our amazing listeners, happy hunting. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.